Alright guys, welcome to my Cryptid channel. I've decided that I'm going to call this thing CryptidZilla, and I did my first video on crazy stories. So I have my friend Vince here with me, and Vince went on Sam Houston National Forest one day, and I was actually going to go, but I decided not to. So Vince ran into a few issues out there and found some weird footprints and probably was being followed by something. I'll let him tell the story to give you an idea of what the heck is going on. And Vince is here getting the camera ready right here. So we're gonna talk about this thing right here, this little thing that happened. All right. Time for me to let my hair down and relax. All right, Vince. Vince, this is my longtime buddy, Vince, and we're both hunters. We're actually going hunting this Saturday. So Vince, let me ask you something. You like going on these camping trails out there in Sam Houston National Forest, and you actually invited me to go, and I wasn't feeling that good that day. So you went up in there. Tell me what happened. You went up in there on the trail, and you went up there.
So we went there. It was the last freeze in March we went, and it was about 35 degrees that night. So me and my girlfriend went there with the dog, and we didn't get there until about 5 p.m. So we had to hurry up down the trail to get to our camping spot.
How many miles in you thought that you estimated you were in?
We probably went about 6 miles down the trail.
6 miles in the trail, right?
Yeah, and then we had to go another couple miles back into the woods, about another mile back off the trail.
Is that close by the Stubblefield area where a lot of Sasquatch sightings, right? Is that the trail?
Well, it's on that end of the forest. It's
right.
on
so
the
you got Lake Conroe, and you have Stubblefield is up in the north side, the northwest side of Lake Conroe. So you're on the northwest side, or were you on the northeast side?
It was a northwest side up there. It was pretty close to Stubblefield.
Pretty much at the top of the lake.
Yeah, it was the trailhead number 3, which is it's called the wilderness area.
The wilderness area.
So you can either take a detour and you can go around the wilderness trail, or you can just go straight from trailhead 3 to trailhead 4.
So this is almost in the area where the hunters camp is at. So the hunters camp is probably around 15 miles of where that's at, probably, give or take.
Yeah, it's within 15 miles, I think.
All right.
So
tell me what happened. So what happened now?
So we got there late, about maybe a couple hours before sundown, and it was cold. We had big heavy packs on, so we had to just do a straight hike. We didn't have any time to rest or anything. We had to hurry up and get our tent up and get a fire going because it was in the low 40s and was going to get down to almost freezing that night. So we rushed out there real quick in the cold, and had the dog out there with us. We chained him up and set the tent up, and got a pretty big fire going. And we spent until nighttime getting all the logs together to make the fire all night.
Right.
So we went to sleep pretty early. We snuggled up, and I had to wake up about 2 o'clock in the morning to put some more wood on the fire because it went out and we woke up cold. So I had to go out and find some more wood.
I remember you telling me that when I called you up, and you said you had a big ass fire going. And Vince, you may want to tell the audience that I said to you, I was like, dude, you better keep your eyes open and be careful, man. But Vince, you were packing some freaking firepower with you, man. What kind of, when you go on camping trips, what kind of firearm?
I have a 10mm Glock I carry.
10mm Glock.
Yeah,
so
a lot of
so you don't play around, man. You carry a 10mm Glock, all right?
Yeah, 15 rounds of 10mm.
Right. At least you can stop dinosaurs with that in case it gets out of control.
Yeah, I got the hand loads. I don't got these wimpy factory loads that are basically 40 cal loads now. I got the real deal. Hand loaded, yeah.
The hand loaded, so you load your own 10mm. So what happened now?
So I had my sidearm on me, and so I'm out there getting the woods together, and I hear something kind of rustling in the bushes, and I didn't think much of it, but the dog started barking at.
We said this was nighttime.
Yeah,
Well, what time do you think this was? Right.
about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I woke up. The fire went out.
Dude, that's it. Man, that's those wee fucking hours, man. Holy shit. Okay, go on. Keep
So
going.
I didn't think much. I don't know what the dog was barking. Figured it's probably a raccoon or something. So I kept collecting the wood, and I got the wood and threw it on there, and that was it. I fell right back asleep, and then we woke up about 6 o'clock, 6:30 in the morning, somewhere around then when the sun came up, and I'm going around getting stuff packed up so we can go hiking for the day. And then I looked right where I was collecting wood at. I went to get a little bit more wood because we were going to make breakfast on the fire.
Right.
And right where I was collecting wood, there's this big footprint. I mean, the ground, it must have been heavy because this print was, probably 6 inches deep. It was
6. Wait a second.
Well, it was mud.
Well,
it was muddy ground. Yeah, it was.
Wait a second. 6 inches deep.
Yeah. So
what kind of footprint was that? What did it look like?
well, the mud had kind of made it to where you couldn't really distinguish any toes or anything. But we're talking about a pretty big print. I mean, it was an imprint in the ground. You could tell something smashed
How long
it down.
did it look like a human foot or something?
No, it was too big to be a human foot. I mean, it had to be, and it was almost like a hoof shape. It looked like
some type of hoof.
Yeah, I think it was like a hoof shape.
Christ. God dang, dude.
Like two little prongs on the end of it.
So you're saying it looks like it's canine but bigger.
Yeah, so it was like a hoof shape almost.
Fuck, dude,
But
this is not good,
it was muddy, so you couldn't really tell.
Right.
So anyway, I thought that's weird. I took a picture of it actually.
That's when I got the picture from you.
Yeah, I did take a picture of it. So
I got the pictures. He sent me several pictures, and when I saw that right there, I said, "Man, that's not looking good."
Yeah, that first picture I sent with the big gash in the ground, that was the first one. And then I said, "What the hell is that, man?" So I sent you the picture, and
Right.
you told me, you got to get out of there. So
yeah, I said, "Dude, this may be a dog, man, footprint or something." Because I was just starting to research dog, man. And so I remember you were getting a little kind of concerned, and you said that the dog started acting up. Okay, you tell the story. Go ahead.
So I said, we got to. I think you're right. We'll probably go ahead and just play it safe and get out of here. I don't know if it's a dog man or not, but it's a pretty big animal that's right there, and it was a fresh print right where I was collecting firewood. So, maybe it had smelled our food or something. So, I said, let's just go ahead.
So in other words, you set up your fireplace right in the middle of where he hangs out most of the time. You're on his turf.
Yeah. So we were supposed to go hiking all day. I said, let's just go ahead and go back to the car.
How far off the trail were you? I mean, you went a little bit of ways off the trail.
It was probably almost a mile, about 3/4 of a mile off the trail.
Wait a second, 3/4 of a mile. So picture this, guys. So you're on the trail, and stop right there and go 3/4 of a mile. That's when real trouble comes up. Okay, all right, 3/4 of a mile. Okay.
Yeah. So,
dude, you're freaking crazy, man. when you start to go that far off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened now?
It was kind of last minute too. I mean, we didn't plan on it being that cold.
Yeah.
But luckily, we packed enough stuff to stay warm. But we said, let's just go back to the car. I don't got a bad feeling about this. So we're walking back, and I keep thinking there's somebody behind me. So I said the dog was, the dog kept turning around and sniffing that way, and I said, well, let's just let these people come by and pass us. That way the dog doesn't keep.
Because I know your dog. She's a what is she? She's a.
Well, this was my poodle mix. This before.
Mix,
yeah, this
right.
I didn't have the other dog yet.
You didn't have the Ridgeback yet. Okay.
No.
Right. So because the dogs can sense when somebody's coming up the trail, they can hear ahead of time, right?
So he he's like whimpering and looking back and trying to run off the other way. I said, well, let's just go ahead and take a break. And we had all this heavy. We probably had 40 pounds of gear each on. So let's just take a break for a minute and let these people, whoever it is back there, come past us. So we sit down on the log and we wait about 20 minutes and kind of wondering if they stopped maybe or what's going on. So, we wait about another 15 minutes and still nobody comes by. And
Holy crap,
by that time the dog had, he started acting normal again. And so we said, all right, well, I don't know if these people are going to come back or what. So let's give it like another 15 minutes and go. So we give it another 15 minutes and they still didn't come past us. So we start walking again and probably started walking about 10 minutes and the dog starts doing the same thing, whimpering, like looking back, like something's following us and he's trying to run off the other way. And I said, well,
This is not good.
they must have stopped. Let's stop again. So we stopped again, and the same thing. We waited, and nobody came past us. So we said, all right, to hell with it. We're just gonna walk back. So we're walking back, and I'm looking around, and the dog is over there sniffing something off to the side. So we go and see what it is, and it's another one of these giant hoof prints in the sand,
What the hell?
and it's a
Holy
fresh one.
freaking crap. When you say sand, was there a creek close by? Well, the soil
Yeah,
is
it was
pretty
near the
sandy.
creek. It was near a creek. Yeah.
So the soil looked pretty much like this, right? This type of sandy type of shit right here.
Yeah. So I think I sent you the picture of that,
Yeah,
and
I did get a picture of that.
so
Yeah.
I follow a couple of tracks to the nearby creek, and there's this big hole in the ground. I think I sent you a picture of that
Yeah.
too, by the creek.
Yeah, I
Off by
remember
the creek,
something.
there's this big hole going into the
There's a
ground.
wait a second. There's a hole going in the ground, like something like a small cave or something. Like I remember.
Yeah,
the
you know,
picture. It
probably.
looked like you were looking at a creek, and when you look at the picture, it was like you were looking at a creek. Like let's just say that you're looking. I remember it was going down like this, like a creek, and all of a sudden it kind of turned to the right, and there's this hole about this big with some rocks.
Yeah, it was
there, like
right where the water meets the edge of the
Right.
bank,
Exactly.
and it went down. I couldn't see in there very far. I mean, it just cut right back
I
down.
remember the picture right. I remember the picture
And
right.
I didn't know what was in there. I didn't want to really mess with it. But I got a picture of it. We'll put that on here. And I said, you know what this is? We got to get the hell out of here. So we packed it up and took off back to the car.
I think you said something that the dog started barking and went down there for a second or something. Did he go down?
Yeah, the dog was barking at the hole.
He was barking at the hole like something.
He's pretty good at tracking stuff. He's a pretty smart dog. So he smelled whatever he got a whiff of in this hoof print. He's following the scent, and then that's when he led us about 100 yards over to where this hole is.
Oh, so he led you on. This is freaking crazy, man.
And he's barking at the hole, and I said, you know, this something's wrong with this picture here. We got to get the hell out of here. So we picked the dog up.
That's when you called me. You called me up at that time, and you said, "Hey, bro, we found some kind of a hole." And I said, "Vince, I think you need to get the freaking hell out of there, dude."
Yeah. So
Because,
you know,
right.
so we're walking back. At that point, we were probably about an hour's hike back to the parking area. So we started hiking pretty quick. You know, we weren't jogging, but we were pretty close.
Right.
And you know, as much as you can go with 40 pounds of gear on your back. And as we're going back, we see another set of these hoof prints, and they're really far apart. Like,
right,
you know,
I remember you showed me that picture with one print here, next print like something.
The next print is like 8 feet away almost.
Wait a second, the next print is 8 feet away. You mean the stride is almost 8 feet away?
Right, 8 feet in between the
strides.
strides.
Wait a second, did it run or skip a beat? I mean, if you're talking about a stride, what the?
Well, it looked like whatever it was moving pretty quick because you know you had the print that was fresh, and then there was like sand kicked back behind them all, so it was like whatever it was running.
Right,
you know.
Right. So maybe running. Okay, all right.
Yeah, so maybe it was like a long stride because it was running, but it didn't look four-legged because I mean it was, you know, you would have 2 sets of prints instead of these long single prints. So again, we just kept hightailing it, and finally we made it back to the car, and we just threw our bags in there and got the hell out of there.
I remember talking to you like, dude, let me get the hell freaking out. So here, I remember you telling me something that was even a bigger trip right here. Is that as you're coming back on the camping trail and you're coming in 5 miles, 4 miles, 3 miles, you said that you actually saw some tents of other campers that were in their tents still asleep while you're coming back.
Right.
You're hauling ass to get the hell out of there because you're seeing footprints and these other campers are in their tents asleep in the freaking area while you're leaving.
Well, and the night before, you know, we heard this guy, I don't know, maybe he heard something too, but about 11 o'clock at night before we went to sleep, there was some guy with a flashlight like jogging down the trail like he was going home. So I don't know if he came from farther down. So I don't know if something scared him off. I know we did about dusk. We heard a pack of coyotes, a pretty big pack of. We thought it was an ambulance. It sounds just like an ambulance. And I said, what the hell is that? It sounds like an ambulance. But we said, well, there's no roads around here, and it sounded just like an ambulance. And then we said, wait a minute, that's got to be coyotes.
You see, here's the thing. You can see footprints and not see what made them. But when you start to see that type of stuff right here, you know, and guys, just let the audience know, you know, I've been researching Sam Houston National Forest for quite some time. And it appears that from 1965, 1970 time frame when law enforcement started really filing real reports and missing reports when this thing became the current trend over the country of hikers and hunters disappearing out of national forests, campers and hunters and things like that. When I researched Sam Houston National Forest, it said that about 265 people have been missing, reportedly missing, out of that national forest. And Sam Houston is like what 280 something thousand acres.
Right. It's a pretty big
And
national forest.
I mean, hunters have been missing. I mean, this is really freaking getting crazy.
So anyway, I was thinking, we could get a few people up together and maybe head back over to that same area here coming
Yeah,
up.
we can go
We could
check
all
it
lock
out.
and load up and see what's
Well, of
going on out
course, I
there.
mean, you got
Yeah.
Nebrin coming with you, and of course, we're going to carry some extra
Yeah.
freaking firepower.
We'll see if we
That
can get
makes two
another
of
guy
us.
out there with us. Maybe, three is a pretty good team.
Yeah,
You got a
three
couple
guys out
firearms
there.
each.
Usually, when these things show up, like I said, I'm not going out there looking for these things because I don't want to see it and freak the heck out. But at least I listen to enough Dogman videos. But there's a lot of things going on. So check this out now. While I was in the hospital, I ran into a rookie cop while Cheryl's mom's in there, and I was talking to him. He's a new rookie cop. He's about in his mid-20s, and him and his partner on patrol one night in Edo. Edo is what they call East Houston. This is
East
this is this is
downtown.
this is an area downtown. You don't want to hang around inside. You're walking down the street right here. It's East downtown. The area's got a lot of gang activity, a bunch of drugged up, crazy type of crazy people down there. So they were actually down there in that area on patrol passing through, and he told me this in the hospital that he had a UFO encounter with an alien spacecraft, and he said that he estimates the distance that the thing was no further than probably a quarter to a half a mile up in the sky in front of him. He said he saw it shining. It looked as big as the moon, and it was growing really bright. Then he said it moved to the left, moved to the right, and then it started coming down and then moved slightly toward him. And they hit their brakes and they freaked the freaking hell out and said, "What the hell is this?" So his partner goes, "Dude, we got to get the hell out of here." So they turned the hell around, hard ass back to downtown Houston. He said that they could tell right away this was some freaky stuff. No, I got a crazy freaking story to even tell you guys right now. There's a guy I met inside a cigar bar that works security, and the first time I ever heard about this was actually on Josh Turner's Paranormal Roundtable. Josh Turner told a story about when we had that massive flood inside Houston. It was back around the 2001 time frame. You remember that massive flood that happened in Harris County, that big flood in 2001?
Right.
And there are these homes inside East Houston that flooded out in neighborhoods, and water was 3 to 4 feet high in some of the neighborhoods. And there's a guy, his house had water about a foot to a foot and a half inside the house. And he said something weird happened. He said he saw these little people outside his house looking like little trolls actually trying to bust into people's properties out there, trying to go inside their properties and coming on them. And he was telling Josh Turner that did this on Paranormal Roundtable about the story. So I met this guy at a cigar bar, and he was telling me that when the flood went away, that they were working on a construction area on Westheimer Road in the Galleria area, and he was walking by, and he carries a flashlight with it because he walks home, and he started hearing some type of ruckus going on down there. So he decided to go walk down in there and go shine the flashlight right down inside the freaking manhole
Yeah.
because it was open, and said he saw some little trolls come up and look at him, and that's screamed out and ran and took off. So at the time I looked at him, I said, "Bro, what the hell are you freaking smoking crack?" I mean, I'm like, "What kind of freaking drugs are you on, guy?" It sounded so crazy at the time, Vince. I never believed it.
I mean, that may have
But
been
then
what's going on with that hole out there. Who knows?
exactly. So
Yeah.
then I hear that on Paranormal Roundtable, what Josh Turner was saying a while back about this thing right here, that they got these little people type of creatures, inside underground caves all over Houston. I mean, Houston is, the crazy thing about Houston is connected to national forests. You have North Houston, you have all these bayous and corridors, and things can move along the bayous. If you follow all the Houston bayous will take you down south. They'll pass downtown. They'll pass and keep going all the way down. They'll connect with Freeport, and then Freeport connects up to national forest. And these critters are apparently using these bayous and corridors to travel at nighttime to get up inside the cities, because of course they're looking for food and they're smelling cheeseburgers cooking, steak cooking, and you're hungry and they have a sensitive smell and they're smelling all these things
Yeah.
all over the city.
I mean,
That's
you got
why this,
miles and miles of these bayou areas that,
exactly.
go right through the city. It's like a wooded area going right through the
So
city.
there's no telling what that could have been.
Yeah, we definitely need to go out to the wilderness area again. I can show you that hole. But, we'll bring a few guys. I don't think anything will mess with us out there. We'll have,
Let me tell you
2 or 3
something,
grown
dude.
men out there.
At least 3 of us are going out there because
And
we
we'll go
want
in
to
the
make sure.
daytime, yeah.
Like I said, we're not idiots right here. We don't travel into a national forest with our dick and 25 cents. But anyway, that'll wrap it up for right now. Let's wrap it up, and we're getting the channel up and started. We're looking for crazy freaking stories that have things to do with Sam Houston National Forest, Davy Crockett National Forest. We're mainly concentrating on the Texas
Yeah,
region
eastern Texas.
because like I said, Keith had told us about the Sasquatch encounter that he had in Gonzales, Texas, out there. That the thing ran across the street and he almost hit it, and then they turned back around and saw the thing standing against the side of the street, 9 foot tall, 500 pounds. And he was out hunting inside the same area that we hunt out there in Stubblefield, and saw 2 red glowing eyes watching him at a distance, and he hightailed. He was 3.5 miles, and he hightailed the hell out there.
So yeah, we'll have to go out there and get some pictures of the area and give people an idea of what we're dealing with here. But
yeah, that could have been Dogman footprints right there.
yeah, I don't know. It was like a little toe-shaped hoof thing, almost like a goat print or something maybe. And then it was on an elongated bottom part.
Yeah, well,
I'll put the picture up on here.
Whatever the heck can make a print like that, an impression of the ground like that, has to have some body weight. I mean, a dude, a big, massive bodybuilder, a Mr. Olympia bodybuilder like Jay Cutler, 285 pounds, freaking ripped, can walk out on concrete. He'll leave some prints, but to leave prints, the stepping and the pounding to really dig down into that dirt, to really sink down almost 6 inches deep, requires some weight, some freaking body weight right here,
Yeah.
Well, I guess that wraps it up for right now. Anyway, guys, we'll talk later until we get some more info on what's going on. For the time being, if you have any crazy stories, I would like you to email that to me, and I will tell people
What's the address? What's the address that they're going to email
We're
you?
going to send it to MPHANG at MPHANG prestige@gmail.com. I'll put the link on the website also. The link will be on
Prestige@gmail. All right.
prestige@gmail.com.
Yeah, we'll put the link inside the comment description.
Right, to get an idea of what the heck is going on. But anyway, we're going to cut film off now. That wraps it up. At least we heard what happened. We're going to go check out that area again, of course. Anyway, that wraps it up. All right, Vince, let me turn my camera on. Stuff right there. Oh, man, that's crazy stuff.